Coach, if you could just kind of give us an update where you are right now after spring practice. You've had a chance to kind of evaluate things, I guess, to this point. How do you feel about your team?
Well, I thought the effort, like I said, after the spring game, I thought the effort that our kids gave for the 15 opportunities we have were really, really good. And there's always things you have to work on and clean up and question marks and concerns. I've never come out of a spring practice and not had some. But I loved our chemistry. I loved, kind of the leadership of our team. And do we still have some question marks? Sure. But, I think we got the most out of the 15 days and excited about certain aspects for sure. I think our D-line has a chance to be really good, which is a good place to start. And we got to figure out the quarterback, battle. But I'm cautiously optimistic there also. So we need more consistent play at receiver. I think our running back room has improved. O-line, I know, got better. A little thin, but I like our safeties and corners. So we would take probably another guy or two there to try to help get the depth there that we want. But pleased with us coming out of spring. Now's the transition into the the discretionary time where you're not with them, and that's always uncomfortable a little bit. Even more so in this day and age, where the tampering and the meddling and all the things that are going on in our sport. So you've got to kind of hope, pray, and keep your fingers crossed that our young men make good decisions and stick together and continue to build what we're building here.
You mentioned question marks still. Obviously, the quarterback, don't know who's going to start there. But what are some of the other big questions you have going into the fall now?
I think I said them, just quarterback-wise, and then consistent receiver play. Who's going to bring that? Truthfully, feel really good about DeMario, and then there's been some inconsistencies everywhere else, and health. Both CJs didn't go through spring ball. That wasn't ideal. Believe that Sneed's got the potential to be a really good player. Noah's solid, but we need others to just be more consistent there. That's the two real big question marks, and then just we need to stay healthy at certain spots on defense.
You brought up quarterback. You had a chance to watch the cut-ups of, the four who were competing for the starting job. Was it what you thought it was through camp, or did you see something different through the spring from those cut-ups that maybe leads you to say we have three that I'm leaning towards, or is it still up for grabs in your mind?
It's up for grabs. I think honestly think we have four guys that could go out there and do well, and just figuring out the differences and who gives us the winning edge, I think is probably going to go close to the season, if not into it. But I like our competition there for sure.
Coach, in this day in college football, it's becoming increasingly rare that you see a guy transfer and sit for a year who's a potential first-round NFL quarterback, a couple years later. What did you first see from Malik when he came here and sat behind Buckshot? And I guess how did he kind of improve along the way in your eyes?
That was probably his toughest year. It's hard. He had to run scout team. He's not getting any reps because he can't play in the game, so you're not getting him reps. So that was difficult, and so I really didn't see much from him that year because you're getting Buckshot and JB and those guys ready, for games. So he's down, running the scout team. So really had no clue, that year. Then you fast forward to the spring, and really didn't have a clue then either. I knew he could do some things, but certainly when we got to the season and the game started, you kind of said, "Oh, there's something to this," and man, what he's been able to do here, I think it's jointly. I think we both feel like Liberty football did and Liberty University did some good things for Malik, and Malik does a lot of good things for here. So it was a good marriage.
Obviously, you've been around a lot of, future NFL talent in your college days. What stands out about Malik that makes you think that, I don't know, maybe he has the temperament or some of the intangibles to succeed at the pro level?
I think his value, his core values, set him up for success. He's not easily swayed by what others may say or think, or not being so result oriented that this world kind of forces on you, particularly in our world. And he just doesn't really buy into all of that. And he buys into being, number one, the best individual he can be, and then the best teammate and player he can be, and he kind of sees it in that order. And he's probably more excited for a teammate that does well than when he has one of those outings that just wows people. So that's rare for a kid or a young man now to be so grounded and confident yet humble, and makes everybody around him better.
You brought up before Pro Day that you really couldn't measure the impact that this process is going to have on this university for Malik, with bringing all the new faces here. Is that the same with him being at the draft on this weekend, of representing Liberty on that stage and having eyeballs on ABC, ESPN, NFL Network, and just being able to get the name Liberty out there with him being there?
Of course. I mean, it's just another way, another step in this journey of his that we're going to use to promote Liberty. I mean, how can you not? And he's done such a great job representing this place and our program. And this is another opportunity Thursday evening where a lot of eyes will be on that green room, and there's some uncomfortable moments that I've experienced there, and things can go sideways in a hurry, and not because you never know what people are thinking in this draft deal. And but irregardless, I've told him this weekend when I talked to him, I couldn't be prouder of him whether he goes the first round or second round, and ultimately he's created value for himself, and he's going to get an opportunity to be an NFL quarterback. And so if it's first round, great, we'll celebrate that. If it's second round, great. And he's the same way. He handles all that pretty well, and he's going to get a great opportunity, and he's going to help promote our program, just like he always has.
Yeah, you've been in these things before at NFL Draft Night. What are you most looking forward to about this one, and what are you excited about?
Well, I mean, we all hope he goes in the first round. That's the hope. That's why you go to this event. And some people choose not to go, and I understand why, because I've been there when things didn't go quite as like the mock drafts and the plans and all of that, and man, you can't hide. You can't run. You can't. I mean, the cameras are on you, and they're wanting you to be in front of a mic, and so that provides a little anxiousness for me. Not because I mean I can, and Malik will handle it fine, but you sure want him to have the joy of his name being called on that first round. Not that it makes a difference long term. There's been a lot of folks that didn't go in the first round that are doing really well in the NFL. But you want that for him, and you want it for his family, and you want it for your program. And so I will be cautiously optimistic and hoping and that we can celebrate that. And that's what I'm looking forward to most is hearing his name called.
I mean, just kind of building off that, I mean, some years, the quarterbacks who are going to go 1, 2, 3, whatever, and they're going to go right off the top. I mean, this year you're seeing some mocks have him at 2, some, like you said, maybe he doesn't even get taken in the first round. I know that obviously adds to some of the anxiousness, but is there excitement in knowing you don't know where or who he's going to go to, really?
Well, you're excited by just the possibility that you've got a guy that could, be taken in the first round as a quarterback, and because ultimately, we're in this profession. You want everybody in your team, in your building, not just players, everybody. You want, whatever you're doing, you want, this culture to create for them value. And the value that when they do get opportunities, whether it's a coach or whether it's a manager. I just met with a manager this morning. He's getting hired by the Detroit Lions. I'm excited because you're about helping people in this building create for them this some type of value that they can offer that gets them opportunities in life and prepares them for life. And in this case, we've been able to help Malik do that. So now the opportunity's coming, and we're hoping it's a first round. And but again, he'll handle it if it's not also. But there is, to me, I really have no clue how this thing shakes out. It's I know who really likes him because I can tell from our conversations, but I don't know what that means. They obviously have other needs also, and so they're who knows.
Most everyone, analyst, experts, quote unquote, that I've heard talk about him seem to love him, love his upside, Malik. I've heard a couple that have criticized him on different things. I think Merrill Hodge the other day said something that he gets lost staring at a blitz sometimes, things like that. What's your take on that, or just some of the critiques that you've heard of him and your thoughts on how he can overcome those?
He's played quarterback 2 years. I mean, that's it. That's what he's played, quarterback. What he doesn't know, he doesn't know. That doesn't mean he can't know it or can't do it. I just know this. You watch the NFL playoffs, nobody's protecting the quarterback very well, consistently. The D-lines are just that good. And the guys that are going deep in the playoffs, most of them have guys that can extend plays. I don't see a guy in the draft that's better at that than Malik. I don't know of any quarterback that comes out of college that's totally ready, and certainly one that's only played 2 years, but I would bet on his upside every single time.
Changing topics or gears real quick. Saw a Sports Illustrated report this morning that leaders in college football are looking at abolishing the 25-man signing limit because of the transfer portal and how 30% of all signing classes are made up of FBS transfers. What do you think about the ever-evolving landscape of that and the fact that it's hard to maintain 85 scholarships because of all this movement?
Well, the current setup doesn't work, period. So, I mean, they can – I don't – whoever sits in those rooms you can't allow the transfer portal to be open 12 months out of the year and expect coaches to only sign 25 in a calendar year. It doesn't work. You can't do that. Or you're going to be risking the health and safety of kids because you're not going to have appropriate depth at certain places. And until I don't know how they have to start saying, look, it doesn't matter how many you sign, you've got to be at 85 come August, and that's the only way the two are going to work. And so I'm not saying that it's a perfect world, but I'm just saying if the rules are going to permit the way it is now, then we have to have the freedom to sign whoever we need to sign to be at 85 come August 1 or 3rd or whenever we start camp. So, I mean, you can't have it one way and the other. They're going to have to, if the portal is going to be a 12-month thing out of the year, then we're going to have to recruit 12 months out of the year, and we're going to have the freedom to have replacement scholarships for those that leave.